Okay, let's continue with the deep dive into the census records for England and Wales on Ancestry. Now I'm continuing with my 3 times great grandmother, Agnes Blackmore Barnes, but she was born Agnes Blackmore Fry, as you see here. And I'm on her profile. So we've looked at 1911, 1901. Now let's have a look at 1891. Again, remember in the sources column you can see it. And if I scroll, I can see the link. I've got it down. It's already added to her record, so I'm not searching for it. I can have a quick glance at that, but I like to get straight into viewing the image. Okay, so the handwriting's a bit clearer than perhaps on her 1911 one. And again, just tip, I like to toggle this on, press the person icon. You can pull that up and down, but you can instantly see where they are generally on the page. Now, clicking here doesn't highlight in this view. But if I use the mouse scroll wheel to come out, I can actually see. You can see on the side here where the bar is. It's in the middle, and I can actually see her there already. Agnes F. Barnes. Let's have a little look. So, we've got the head of the household, 28, photographer, her son-in-law, Matilda F. Barnes, who's her daughter, the wife, 28, and the children. You've got son, daughter, DAUR is the abbreviated form for daughter. And in this case, the ages are here in years, but here it looks like maybe 1 month. So Agnes F. Barnes. And the nice thing, they're next to each other. That's her granddaughter who was named after her. So nice. And it says mother-in-law and wid for widowed, if you can just about make that out. And she was age 71, living on own means. Now, I will scroll out a little bit. You can see where born in this column. Saltash, Cornwall, Ilfracombe, Devon. And this again is like the ditto shorthand. DO, I guess you could say it is. Ditto, ditto. So they're all the same. Doesn't surprise me because then they're in that place. And Agnes herself was born in Padstow, Cornwall. So let's see when we get to the earlier censuses about that. Because I find it easier to work backwards, right? Because you know where they were when they died, and then you can work back from there often. And interestingly now, we have a lady here, Louisa A. Rundle, who is down as an assistant. That's interesting. Photographer's assistant, living in the house. Oh, never seen that one before. And also the fact that it's a lady. In those times, that seems quite interesting on several counts. So when I read it initially, I was expecting assistant to actually to be a servant, but then if you look down here, Emily Branton, is the servant, and she's younger, and she's also nurse's maid. So whether she was looking after my great grandmother or my ancestor, well, I don't know, but I think that says nurse's maid. Please correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. And they're both local, Devonport, Devon, and Buckland, Devon. We can also see, and I probably should have done this first, but Road, Street. Now 3 St James's Place, and you've got the ditto symbol, 2 St James's Place, and 1. So I've looked at this in the other videos. This is where it is. Again, Ilfracombe, nice on the beach. My ancestor here was living here in the 1901 and 1911 censuses. So she's quite settled there, and they've been there a long time. Now, if you look over in this column, it's sometimes called infirmity. The final column, it denotes whether, again, in Victorian terms, deaf and dumb, blind, lunatic, imbecile, or idiot, which obviously we wouldn't use today. But you can see some of them are listed. So you may see for some of your ancestors, there is that aspect pointed out. Now, for instance, if I come onto my mum's other side of the family tree, if I look at the 1891 census for her, now in Wales it's a little bit different, as we can have a look at, but her name was Margaret Worthing, and handily she's right at the very top, and this is in Brecon in South Wales. So Margaret Worthing, wife, my great-great-grandmother, and it says here that she was actually blind. Now, curiously, they have written it. They haven't just put a number, so it makes me think that that's likely. And she also died in 1892, a year or so after this census was taken. So you should look at that column. You may find out something. Now, I haven't seen her death certificate, but sadly she was only 41 when she died, which is frightening because I am 40 as I make this video, and just the thought of that is very scary in itself. But just look at that column right on the 1891 census, and you've got it in 1901 I believe as well. So keep an eye out and you may learn something from that. If I come over here back to the Devon, Agnes Fry Barnes, again there's not much else to really see on there. I suppose we could have a look. Again, tip on this, if you press the number 1 on here and go, you may get a little bit more information, and you could download the file as well. So you've got a bit of a description. It's not so much of the area, but it's more about the area covered in the census. It doesn't really give you all that much information, but you could see it does list a few bits that you might find interesting. And instantly there, see Miss Fry's. I don't think that's a relation to Agnes from her maiden name, but hey, it might be worth downloading that as well. And I always do this. I've forgotten the number to type in here because I didn't take a note of it. So if I press back, probably easiest in the browser, come back in. Remember, always do that. I keep forgetting. I'm trying to remember all these things when I record. Aha, page 12. So if you get lost, it can be a little bit disorientating. And as we've talked about, have a clear naming convention and just save as you go, because the records are not available if your subscription lapses. Okay. So let's do Fry Nay Barnes 1891 census. And there. Just save it as you go, and that will be a big help. Another tip I do is while you're here, although I've already got this record on Agnes's tree, if you choose another person, let's say again I've been choosing Matilda as I do these, who was, I suppose, my 4 times great aunt, 3 times great aunt, yeah, that's right. And if I choose that and press save, I can save to a person in my tree without having to go out. Okay, so I can save, and anything different just shows up here. Okay, so there is nothing different there. Now, what is it showing different? Okay, it's just saying Agnes F. It is a match, but I do not want to add anything, so I'll just toggle. Leave those as they are and just press that for the name. Yep, George. Now, Cavison, that's actually Kevin. Yeah. And you can see it's found them fine. Now, I think Wilfred might sadly have died before the next census, so it's worth adding them. And then add here. So we've got these records, one fell swoop. It's just a quite good workflow. It's added it to Matilda's as well. So we're building up this picture of her, and you can see it's building up that. So check out my next video in this series now, and I will see you there.